So see, I'm generating one simple example. Maybe in this duration, right? You can utilize this tool um, to generate some sort of
Is it
code and uh,
is it recording, sir? Recording.
yes, yes, I said yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sure. Bootify open. Yeah. So once you launch to this URL, right? Bootify.io. I'm sharing this URL also with you. So keep this one. HTTPS bootify.io. Open project. Start new project. If you see, this is looking like something like your Spring Starter IO. Okay. So mostly it looks like similar, but this is not the tool which only generating skeleton. Not only skeleton, it will generate body also. Both it will generate. Okay, group ID something com dot rbu dot employee management system something I create. My project name employee management system application. Maven project Java dependency. Lombok do you want? It is asking yes I want Lombok. Do you want front end? It is asking yes generate me front end. And which database you want? I am putting Arkill. And DB generation it is asking. Do you want to generate tables? Yes, put it. See only two options they enabled for you validate or update. I'm asking update. Update will do both create and as well as schema update also. Okay, good. Pluralize tables. What is it? Entity should be created in the singular. The option plural is the underlying database tables. For example, an entity line item will be connected to a table line items. Not sure. Later you can explore. And here date created last updated in your entity. Do you want? Yes. Let's add it. And which format file you want for your properties? YML or properties? Choose properties. And a technical or domain driven packages. So it's just technical. And enable API Swagger UI. You can enable this one as well. Docker Compose for development. It is asking you to do you want to generate a Docker Compose also? Means a Docker file it will generate with all the dependencies. Great feature, right? So you need not to compose any file. It is generating it for you. Earlier it was not there. Now they added. So that directly you can run your application in Docker also. If Docker is there in your machine. Further dependencies. What else you want? As I'm using Hibernate, data GPA. Yeah, you need not to add. By default it will add. Actuator, but I don't think much I need here. So by default data JPA it will add as I choose the Hibernate to use. So data JPA will come. Set up entities means table. Which table you want in database? Employee RBU employee. Okay, RBU employee. Do you want rest endpoint? Yes. Do you want front controller? Yes. And what fields you want? ID. And what else fields you want? My employee required name. Is it mandatory? Yes, required. Email. So when you add required, right? Validation annotations also it is adding. A default validations also it will add to your application. Required? Yes. All are required. Save it. Yes. So this is your entity. Download your project. Project is downloaded. See, one project is generated for you. Just only thing that you need to do after this setup, just the only thing you need to do after this, right? Extract it, extract it, extract this one, and just import into your HDS. As you generated project from web tool, right? That web tool don't know about your local database URL and username passwords, right? Only that stuff you need to change. It will generate with some default syntax that you go and change it. Open this employee EMS-app. Lot of packages. It is generated. See, lot of code it is generated. Not many files. A quick tool for you to do all this. See, one model class generated for you. One domain object, which means your entity. RBU employee with at the rate entity, addresses, address annotation. No, see, so many things it added. And sequence also it is added. Custom sequence, not to default one. Custom sequence generator also added. It knows that sequence is the perfect choice for SQL, like particularly Oracle database. So it is said initial value is 10,000. From there, it will increment it. If you want to change it, you can change it. My employees IDs I want to start from 100 only. First employee 100. Next onwards I want to give 011, 02, 103. And the remaining parameters name, email, address, and two I choose to opted to enable date created and date updated. It is given that two extra columns also. And immediately what will come into our mind after entity repository. So if you go repository, or repository also extended from JPA repository and generated. See how cool it is. Then immediately service. So one at the rate service with this one, and see it is using perfect dependency injection of constructor instead of auto add. Field level dependency injection also we can do, but in sonar scanning, right, it will say it will not recommend you to do field level injection. Generally we do that, but see, this is a preferable choice. Perfect way of doing dependency injection. And here, what methods given? Create method to do save operation. And see, it is using DTO and your entity uh, objects. Both objects it is using. Similarly, how we implement it. From controller to service up to service part, DTOs it is getting. From here, it is converting DTO into this DTO into your object. Same thing that we performed. We used Spring, this one, right? Which one for conversion? Spring utils something bean
Util
utils,
something.
In utils
bean
dot
utils dot
something.
copy. Here they implemented a custom method map to entity. A map to entity custom method it is implemented to convert from one bean to another bean. So all getting from this one and setting into this employee bean, and finally returning employee bean. Instead of using that approach, it is using perfectly its own method. Yeah, it's your choice. You can use that one or this one. When you use a bean map utils one, right? Copy utils. What that will do exactly name matching parameters only it will map. In case naming conventions are different, let's say in DTO if name is employee name, in entity if it is name, it will not map properly. In such scenario, you can implement your own mapping. Update also it is doing. In update scenario also find by ID, or else if find by id doesn't find data, or else throw null, not found exception. A new object it is creating, not found exception throwing method reference. Same thing which we implemented, little advanced code is generated. And what about your REST API class? Controller also generated. REST controller request mapping on class level. API slash RBU employees produces JSON. By default it will produces. And here also constructor based auto wiring. Service it is auto wiring into controller. Hereafter, for save method, create employee and getting request body with to at the rate valid DTO. Why at the rate valid it is added? We
Sir,
added the
why do we need final there?
no, that is not to the context. Okay, final you can explore. See here, RBU employee DTO. It is having at the rate not null, not null, not null annotations. So Jakarta validation annotations has been added here for applying validations also. So a lot of code it is generated by default. Just a minute, guys. Hello. Yes, Swami. అది అసలు ఓపెన్ కావట్లేదు స్వామి. బ్లాక్ అయిపోయింది. చూస్తా మళ్ళీ కూడా అయినా. ఉమ్. అది ఏం అవసరం లేదు. ఆ ఉన్న వాటితో వెళ్ళొచ్చు. ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లం ఉన్నా నేను చూస్తాను. సరే. అవి బ్లాక్ చేశారు 15వ తారీఖు తర్వాత మళ్ళీ ఎనేబుల్ అయ్యింది 10వ తారీఖు తర్వాత. నేను చూస్తానులే స్వామి ఇవి. అవి అయితే కన్ఫామ్ కాలే ఆర్ఏసీలోనే ఉంది. 50కో ఏమో వచ్చినాయి. అయిపోతాయిలేండి అయినా. నేను మళ్ళీ చేస్తా స్వామి క్లాస్లో. Yeah. So you can explore other classes also. A lot of configuration classes it is generated, controllers it is generated. See here it is generated controllers and REST controller also. Controller for web access, REST controller is for REST access. Both it is generated if you see. Here plain controller is there, REST controller also is there. REST controller is for your access outside the application. If somebody want to access, they can access it. Within the application web pages if want to access, controller also given. See all the flavors, everything added here, including some web pages also generated. Home page, inside home, index page. Then for adding employees, there is a add label, right? To enter data. So field, name field, email field, address field. By using theme leaf tag library, it is generated all these tags. For edit screen, edit page, to show list of employees, list page, as we see here. Here, right? When we click here, let me shut down it. Yeah, maybe. So the screens it was showing before, right? All that pages also it is generated, including properties. What properties? Spring data source URL. Do we have this URL? No. You need to add your original URL, username, passwords here. So my username passwords for Arkel is system manager. No, let me add that. Okay. Just copy this three and keep it. Go back, click here. Just to replace these first three properties, but you need not to do anything. Just to replace that first three parameters, database URL, username, password, and the port number also. Let's see which port number it is chosen. Mostly it should be 8080, the default port. You change it. You change it here. Server dot port is equal to keep your required port number. Bus. Then you can run this application. Run Spring Boot app. If everything goes well, it will start. If not, yeah. Pipe Docker engine, the system cannot find the file specification. Docker runtime. Docker is not running. I don't want the Docker compose. If I remove this Docker compose, is it enough or unnecessarily we added that? Maybe while you are doing right, don't put that. Later I'll show you how to run with this Docker compose. Maybe let me delete it. Delete it. Refresh it. Again go run it. Where do you find Docker compose file? No Docker compose file. Why you need Docker compose? क्या हुआ? Yeah, unnecessarily added. That is for sure. Somewhere it is for. Let me delete it.
Or what did you delete? Target or no?
Yes, target. If the issue is with the Docker, Docker Compose asset utils 97. Let's see any Docker dependency that we have here in form file. Oh, Docker Compose. We'll see this, okay? We'll see this. Let me comment it. Wow, it is started. 9090 started. Let's load it. Wow, RBU employee, no data found, create, cool, entering the data.
Sir, how did we get these pages? Timely that part from the
Auto
top.
generated, everything auto generated. Yeah, see this. Beautiful. Edit screen. See, and they blocked the ID part also. See how beautiful it is. Just if you want to customize, right? Quickly, if you want to develop your own application, a sort of you generate it. Maybe you can remove, find it where you have all this stuff, and you can remove it and make it little clean and good. For a simple, management systems, you can use this. Quickly, you can set up your application. Beautiful. Okay. I hope you can do this. Try yourself. And while selecting, right, Docker, ignore Docker. If Docker selected, right, like how I deleted Docker file and commented form dependency, you do that. Bus. Hope, you know